If you've been following headlines about actors in superhero movies and actors in general, you might know that Ezra Miller had some bad headlines come out not too long ago. Lots of accusations, some scuffles in bars, some things involving kids and firearms, just not the best stuff. So a lot of people wondered how Flash would be since Ezra Miller never got canceled by Warner Bros. And it seems like the movie's turning out to be real bad all round. It's not a great movie. I'll name my source in a little bit. And it's not doing great at the box office. So, this is from June 19, 2023. It's called The Flash Box Office Continues to Disappoint. And some people say this is a precursor for how Aquaman 2 might do because you know who is in Aquaman 2. And now, that person in Aquaman 2 had much worse headlines from a lot of places than Ezra Miller for a longer time. So this might be kind of a test run. Let's see what we got. The Flash Bolt Speed could not manage to score big at the box office for the opening weekend. The DC film gathered 55.1 million in 3 days, while on the upcoming 4-day holiday weekend, the Ezra Miller movie is expected to reach 64 million during its screening in 4,234 cinemas according to Deadline. The superhero movie fell short of the earlier estimates that it would rake in 70 million to 75 million in the first 3 days in cinemas. So it's coming up a little over 10 million short or something like that on the high end. Now, the problem is there's no way to tell if Ezra's controversies had an effect on the box office. And unfortunately, there's not going to be a great way to tell for Aquaman 2 either, unless we see people like outside the theaters and things. In that case, maybe. But I'm guessing we won't have a rock solid way of knowing. But I gotta feel that it does play a role. I mean, what if Ezra was just this nice, normal actor doing funny interviews, no controversy, nothing? I mean, surely you would have got a little more extra couple of million on there. In other news, Warner Bros. Is going big with Bolt Superhero as the sequel script was already finished before the original movie's release. According to Variety, the Aquaman scribe David Leslie John McGoldrick has completed the script for the DC Heroes second installment. However, the movie has not received the green light signal to go on floors, and the reason is until it does really good at the box office, they don't green light it. Now with Dune, it did great in like the first 2 weeks, and they said, "We're making part 2. There it is." I can't remember what the box office was, but it was big, and they knew right away. But here, they're like, rough start. Of course, no green light for a sequel. And with Aquaman 1, it did $1 billion, so of course, they might as well make a 2 at that point. Warner Bros. And this director, Andy Muschietti, also said that Miller will be in it. Just keep going with Miller. No matter how bad the box office is, whatever happens, if it's going to happen, it's got to be Miller. All right. Can't understand why these people double down all the time. I'd only imagine a sequel won't do great either. And of course, they quote him with some compliments about Miller, about how Miller plays the best Flash, the best Barry Allen. Now, to cite my source, I watched the Critical Drinker video. I watch him once in a while. You guys might know him. He's got over 1 million subs. He's really big. And he did a good review on this, piece by piece, about the plot line, everything, the cameos, the acting. And he said there were a couple of good things about the movie on the surface, but overall, the special effects were pretty bad. The story was very sloppy. And Ezra Miller was not so good. And I take his word for it most of the time. I'm not going to say it. No interest, and of course, I'm not going to support Miller. So for the heck of it, I took out the Rotten Tomatoes score. Reviews only 66%, but the audience score is high. Grain of salt here. I don't trust them. But like I said, for the heck of it, might as well see what they're saying. And this person, Mark Jackson, says from the Epic Times, basically, he likes the testosterone, huge, muscular, manly superheroes, not the shiny, skinny ones, which you get a lot of in The Flash. But to note, there was a couple of nostalgic moments with some cameos. This person, Sean Burns, says that Keaton's Batman, who was one of the bigger cameos people wanted to see, had some nostalgia, but was underwhelming and pretty much just inside jokes. Hope says, fan service in search of a movie, it's not terrible, but it is disappointing. And this guy, Donald Clark, top critic by the way, says it's a thundering mess that ends with the usual boring CGI sky battle. But on a scene by scene basis, The Flash passes the time better than Gunn's own puzzlingly lauded Suicide Squad, which I actually kind of liked. Not sure why this is fresh because Donald here says it's a thundering mess. And one more fresh one from Randy. So, bit of a mix. Lots of unfresh, lots of fresh. But you don't want that. You don't want a mix. You want good reviews. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Doing shoutouts, special thanks. I'll be tracking this one. Let's see how it goes. Probably one more video when the total comes out. Mainly because it is kind of a test run to see what might happen with Aquaman 2. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.